What's good? Welcome to First Ring Podcast presented by BetRivers. Make sure you download the BetRivers app or go to www.betrivers.com. You must be 21 years or older to play. On today's episode of First Ring Podcast, we switch to a little round ball with our guy Chase Hughes from NBC Sports, Washington. Also, we're going to get into the Commanders. Brian Robinson is back. Danny showed up and he put out a 9-page letter on some things. So we'll cover that and more on today's episode of First Ring Podcast. So you know it's time to get it.
Artlist.io.
All right, we are back on First Ring Podcast presented by BetRivers. Make sure you download the BetRivers app. You must be 21 years or older to play. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the First Ring Podcast. Tell a friend to like it. Hit the alerts button so that you're notified when we got new content. Let's get the squad in here right now. Sid, how you doing, man?
What's going on, brother? How we doing today?
We are great. Ant is in the lounge. He's in his Thursday normal spot. So, Ant, how are you?
Man, I'm a Cowboy fan, so everything cool, man.
All right, that's enough of that. We won't see Ant no more today. Oh, Lord.
Hey, but besides that, the music ain't so loud this week, so I'm doing good, man. We got a good guest. Ready to have a great show.
That's right. Let's bring in Lady A. How are you?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
We're doing great. All right, now let's bring in that guy, Chase Hughes. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on.
All right, so Chase is covering the one and only Washington Wizards, and that season's about to start. They went overseas to Japan, played the Golden State Warriors. That didn't turn out the way that they thought it was going to turn out. Well, we knew how it was going to turn out, but now we got some problems. Can you bring us up to date on what's going down at training camp?
Yeah, I mean, anytime you're talking about the preseason, the number one goal is to come out of it healthy, right? And the Wizards went over to Japan, and Corey Kispert injured his ankle, and that was on the heels of Denny Avdia having a groin injury. He still hasn't been a full participant in practice. And then today we found out that Johnny Davis, who was supposed to step in for Corey Kispert, has knee tendonitis. I don't think that's going to be a very serious injury. I think it might only keep him out a few days. And Denny might be back soon. Kispert, we know, is going to be out for a while. But it's just unfortunate for the Wizards that their last 3 first-round picks are all hurt right now. I mean, they might want to put some bubble wrap around Rui Hachimura because those young guys are supposed to be a big part of what they're doing this year, and 3 of them right now are sidelined.
Yeah, it was supposed to be like a big youth movement this year. Bradley Beal, and Christoph Porzingis, how are they meshing?
I think pretty well. I mean, we saw them in the first preseason game play together, and of course, there's been some work behind the scenes that we haven't been able to see. But in the one game that they played together, I really liked the glimpses that we saw. There was a nice dribble handoff by Porzingis for Beal coming around a screen, and he scored on that. Porzingis found him in the corner for a corner 3. And we saw Beal throw a lob to Porzingis, a really nice play. So I think the ceiling is really high for them offensively. Both of those guys got to stay healthy. They've had a little bit of trouble staying on the court. We all know that about Porzingis. He misses, at least over the last 4 years, he's missed about a third of his team's games. But Bradley Beal's had a little bit of trouble staying healthy too. So those guys, if they're on the court, for 70, 75 games or more this year, I think the Wizards at a minimum are going to have a pretty good offense.
Okay. Lady A, get in there.
So with Brad, I mean, he has this new 5-year contract, $250 over the next 5 years. Do you really think that is worth it? Do you think he's going to step up? Because, I mean, like you said, he is having issues being healthy.
I think it'll be worth it if he returns to the player he was 2 years ago, which was the best scorer in the Eastern Conference. Guy who almost won the scoring title. That was 2 straight years he led the East in scoring, and he's 29. It's not like he should be over the hill at this point. So if he can prove that last year was an anomaly and go back to being that player, obviously that would help. But I think winning will really determine how people view that contract. I've seen in my time covering sports how if a team's winning, all of a sudden you don't hear the same complaints about a guy making a lot of money. I mean, look at the Nationals. I used to cover the Nationals. Jason Worth, statistically was not worth the contract. Ryan Zimmerman statistically was not worth the contract, but the team was winning. So, no one was really complaining about that. But obviously it's a different story when you're talking about a sport with a salary cap, because if they aren't winning or if Beal isn't playing well, then the level of blame is different, because if you're an NBA player, you're so much more important to your team's success, and the amount of money you make has a direct domino effect on the rest of the roster.
Right.
Well, my question that I really have for you is, last year we were struggling with the point guard, and we got people playing out of space, out of roles, and things like that. So who is going to be our primary ball handler this year? Please tell me it's not going to be Beal, because I can't take that many turnovers.
I think it'll be Monte Morris, but Bradley Beal is going to have the ball in his hands a lot. I mean, he's a high usage player. Generally a guy who's in the top 5, top 10 in terms of usage percentage. But Monte Morris, I think, will do a better job than they got last year from their point guard group in terms of just setting the table and getting guys in rhythm shots. So, Monte Morris is going to start at point guard. I think DeLon Wright will be his primary backup. And then there's a little bit of a question mark at the third point guard spot. And we saw Johnny Davis play a little bit of that in the preseason against the Warriors. But I think you might see some point guard play from Bradley Beal. And, you mentioned the turnovers. That has been an issue for him. I think the hope there would be that having more offensive threats on the court with him, maybe a Porzingis and Kuzma, if those guys are healthy and playing well, and better shooting around him, hopefully that'll take some pressure off him, and maybe he won't dribble into the double teams. But obviously turnovers have been an issue for him. And I will say maybe they can offset that as well with their point guard group, because if you look at assist to turnover ratio last year, Monte Morris was 4th in the league and DeLon Wright was 5th.
Right.
Yeah. Hey, go ahead, Ant.
So I'm your resident Dallas Mavericks fan. And Porzingis was, for all intents and purposes, a big dud here. What do you see as the biggest reasons why he was able to be what he was with the Knicks, to be an absolute dud with us? And then, they beat us. Even Washington's typically had our number whenever we do play them. So what do you see as the biggest reason for how he has been able to be who he is as he's progressed on different teams?
Yeah, that's a great question, because obviously he was an all-star in New York, and then he tore his ACL, and then he was traded to the Mavericks. And statistically, he was better with Dallas than he was in New York. But I agree, he was probably better in New York. At least his peak was higher. And I also agree that it didn't work out in Dallas. And obviously that's why he was traded. And he's talked extensively about it. I think in both situations, there was a decent amount of pressure on him. If you're the star of the Knicks, there's going to be some pressure. And then in Dallas, he was expected to be the second guy to potentially an all-time great in Luka Doncic. And it was everyone knows that Luka's great. If he's not if Porzingis wasn't healthy, or if he wasn't playing well, he was going to take a lot of the blame. We've seen that with teammates of great players over the years. So I think maybe the difference in the situation he's found himself in now is that there isn't that level of pressure. The expectations for the Wizards aren't that high. It's a team that hasn't won 50 games or been in the conference finals since the 1970s. And it's just not as big of a spotlight, certainly as New York, but also playing next to Luka Doncic. So I think maybe there's a little bit less pressure on him now, and maybe he can thrive in that situation. But certainly it all comes down to health. And I think that was a huge reason why he didn't work out in Dallas, because he wasn't on the court enough. And when he was, I think there were some defensive shortcomings, it sounds like, that Mavs fans were tired of.
Yeah, and I think also when you look at, I don't know if it's the pressure, to be honest with you. I look at when he was in New York, he was the guy at a certain point. That season right before he got hurt, or the season where he actually got hurt, he was putting up astronomical numbers. I think the problem with his game more so is that he wants to be the guy. And when you go to the Mavericks, that's not happening. Because when Luka went out, when Luka was hurt, he was dropping 30. He was dropping 40. I think, especially if you're not going to bring an offense where the ball runs through him often, he's gonna tap out quite early, because I think in his mind he's one of these top 10 guys, as it looked like when he was in New York and he went on that string of dropping consecutive 30, 40-point games and things of that nature.
Well, so far, I mean, he said all the right things about how his job is to make Brad's life easier. So maybe he had said the same things in Dallas and it just didn't work out. But certainly the Wizards are going to have to find a balance between running the offense through him and Beal, and also getting Kuzma shots and getting other players shots. And, I think what maybe could work out is just the fact that they're basically the opposite in terms of how they score, Bradley Beal and Kristaps Porzingis. I mean, they both like to, shoot from the outside and attack the rim, but, just being an inside-outside combination in terms of a guard and a big man, maybe that could help. I don't know. But it's a question that they have to answer moving forward, and something that I think was just a point of, it was something that was intriguing going into camp, because we had not seen those guys play together. And the Wizards have basically built their team around these guys who were on the team together last year, but actually did not share the floor together because of Brad's injury.
So speaking of Kyle Kuzma, how's he doing in his second year, and what should we expect from him? He was pretty much number one when Brad was out, and now that Brad is back, is he ready for that second role, or to take over like a 1A, 1B type deal with Brad?
I think there's also a question mark there, just because last year we saw Kuzma thrive when he was the primary scoring option, or one of the two main scoring options, as you alluded to. Earlier in the season, he struggled a little bit trying to find his way next to Bradley Beal and Spencer Dinwiddie. So it's interesting, because on one hand, he's proven that he can be a very good third option. I mean, you could argue he was the third option for the Lakers when they won the title, right? Obviously, He was third next to two very good players in LeBron and Anthony Davis, but he has the experience kind of being a complementary player. But last year, he kind of talked openly about how he was relegated to being a spot-up shooter in the corner, and we saw that he was much, much better when the ball was in his hands, when he could get on the move in open space, when he could create for others, when he could create his own shot off the dribble. So I think there's going to be a stage this season, the first 10, 20 games, where you're going to notice that there's a learning curve as these guys try to figure out how to play with each other. I think the ceiling is very high for them offensively, those three. And Kuzma's part of that, because when he was the primary scoring option last year, he went about a half a season averaging 20 points a game, 10 rebounds a game, shooting a pretty high percentage. He made a lot of clutch shots. I know we all remember those. So it could work really well, but they're going to have to figure out a way to make it work.
Say it. You want to get in there?
Yeah. Honestly, when Bill opted out, I didn't think he was going to come back. Thought he was going to join the super team. That's just me personally. From you watching practice, you have access that we don't. Tell me someone, hurt or not, that you've seen that has actually surprised you so far during training camp.
That's a good question. I think I'd probably point to Quentin Jackson. I think has surprised me a little bit. He's not someone who's going to be in the rotation. You might not hear his name much this year, but I think he's got a lot of potential as a prospect. He played at Texas A&M last year, and I heard a really cool story. I was talking to
6'5".
Yeah. I mean, he's very explosive. But I heard a really cool story. I was talking to Frank Ross, who is their VP of college personnel. He's one of their top scouts. He's one of the people who determines what they decide to do on draft night. And he had been going to some games at Texas A&M to scout the opponent. Right. He was like, Kentucky's in town. He lives in Texas. Kentucky's in town. I'm going to go see, Kentucky's players. And he wasn't scouting Quentin Jackson, but he just kept catching his eye because of his effort and his explosiveness. And he was like, I got to get this guy in our program. So they got him on the summer league team, and now he's in training camp. And so I think he's been a little bit of a surprise. Everyone else, there's the young players are hurt right now, and the veterans are kind of, what you're going to get. I will say one thing that stood out to me, though, is Bradley Beal's been putting in a lot of work after practice. Maybe it's a matter of him coming back from that injury and trying to get the feel back. But I always kind of pay attention to after practice when we're in there waiting, to maybe talk to a player in a press conference who's continuing to shoot. And every single day, Brad's been out there late. And who knows, maybe he's also putting in work behind the scenes, because some of these guys come in at night or come in early in the morning. We're not privy to that. But from what I can tell, it looks like he's putting in extra work.
So I got to ask you a question about one of the players that I remember, and I like. I think they're all effort, and anything that you get from this person is like a bonus. And you have those players that are like the energy bringer, and that's Taj Gibson right now. How is he fitting in? I mean, he's like one of those guys that just is everywhere. He fills up the stat sheet in areas that really can't be quantified. How's Taj doing with the squad?
I think he's fitting in really well because they could use a veteran presence like his. He fits in with any team because his role is very well defined. He's the third center. He gives you max effort. He gives you smarts, and he just knows how to play. He does the little things. He's not afraid to box out or go after a loose ball or set a screen. He's been one of the best players in the league at boxing out for a long time. So I think that's a big part of his game. He's got a decent 3-point shot now, particularly from the corners. So I think he's going to make an impact on the floor. Even if Porzingis and Gafford are healthy, I think they're going to turn to him sometimes. But it's really the veteran presence. I think he's one of the most respected players in that locker room. And you just can kind of tell when you talk to some of the younger guys like Daniel Gafford that they really revere him and they'll listen to what he says. It's basically like having a coach on the roster. I would imagine throughout the season, if anyone's not pulling their weight in practice, he's going to be the type that'll yell at them and put them in place. So I think it's all those sorts of intangible things that he's helped out with.
Since we had the Golden State Warriors have a problem, I can't go without asking, have there been any fights in camp yet?
Not that I've heard of. Sometimes things happen and it gets out, and then basically far more often things happen and it doesn't get out. So not that I've heard of, but that stuff is always a factor. But usually I feel like later in the year when things aren't going well. The whole Draymond Jordan Poole thing is fascinating to me because they're both such good players, and the team just won a title, and it's the preseason. They should be kind of having a honeymoon period, but
Yeah.
I guess Jordan Poole's getting a little big for his britches. I mean, he looks like a future star to me, so I'm not surprised that it'll get to his head a little bit.
So Draymond says,
yeah.
Could be a little motivation they're trying to do there. No, I actually want to go back. Biggest reason why Beal and Wall didn't work.
Oh,
great question, Ant.
I think injuries made it so that their primes didn't coincide with each other. When John Wall was All-NBA, Bradley Beal was on the cusp of being an All-Star, and then by the time Bradley Beal was All-NBA, Wall's body had broken down and he wasn't in the organization anymore. So I think that would be the first reason. Secondly, there was some roster mismanagement. I mean, if they had continued to add a lot of talent to the roster and made some smarter decisions with other positions, then who knows what their ceiling could have been. But basically it amounted to John Wall, Bradley Beal, and they had some good secondary players, but they just couldn't keep replenishing and restocking. And there are a bunch of decisions along the way that I think lowered their ceiling and ultimately made it so that combination didn't work. And I think signing Al Mahimi was up there. And I also think re-signing Otto Porter because, and I said this at the time in the media room. I didn't tweet it or write it, so I don't have the receipts, but you can ask some people. I said they should let Otto Porter go and they should re-sign Bojan Bogdanovic. And I didn't think it would turn out the way it did, but Bojan Bogdanovic, he signed for about 40% of what Otto Porter was making on a max contract, and he ended up being a significantly better player. So it's like just little things like that. If those things had gone differently, who knows? Maybe they would have been able to get to a conference finals or something. But going even further than that, their ceiling would have only been so high because neither guy was like a top 5 player in the NBA. But certainly, it could have worked out better than it did.
So, go ahead. Hold on. And go ahead.
No, so now I'm wondering, Beal, he resigns. I hope he's not doing the Melo move, or it's just how much money can I stuff in my pockets, and so what y'all do with this team? What do you see as the thing that this team needs to go to the next level, being that you said if everything goes right as far as health, that they can be offensively competitive? And, I mean, we know what that'll get us in the East. It'll get you vying for, a play-in, maybe a first round, and then an early exit. So what do you see as the thing that will help catapult this team to the next level? Maybe by All-Star break, they can make a push type move.
Well, first of all, to get a few obvious things out of the way, they got to play better defense. They got to shoot better from 3. They made the fewest threes of any team in the league last year, in an era when 3-point shooting's king. Like that's not going to work. Also, Porzingis, Beal, Kuzma, those guys have to stay healthy. But I think the biggest thing that might determine their ceiling in the bigger picture is just the development of their young players. They've committed to continuing to build through the draft. They've kept their first-round picks. They have not traded those picks. So they've got Hachimura, Avdia, Kispert, and Johnny Davis. One of those guys has to turn into something substantial, I think, to really turn them into contenders, whether it be because they're on the team or they help them get somebody else. But it's really crystallized for me in the last few years how important the draft is for the Wizards. And we know that's important, right? We've always known that it's important, but we also know that free agency isn't really a viable option for them to bring in a star player. We've seen them strike out in that sense. And then maybe a few years ago, trading for a star was super realistic, but the Rudy Gobert trade has really changed the way I view trading for stars because they gave up so many first round picks, some of them unprotected. And I think I would have done that deal if I were the Timberwolves because he might put them into the finals or win them a title. I don't know. They've got 3 really good players now, but he's not the type of player that if you put him on the Wizards, all of a sudden they're going to be in the finals or winning a championship. So I don't know how viable of an option like a blockbuster trade is anymore. So I think it's got to come through the draft. And by the way, the draft affects everything else. If you draft a bunch of good young players, then all of a sudden you have more options when it comes to trades. So they've got to develop those guys. And, not all of them are going to turn into stars, but if one of them did, or 2 of them turned into something close to stars, that would change their outlook quite a bit.
Speaking of the draft, is this the year that we actually reach the bottom because there's a young man from France that is supposed to be the next big thing? He's an inside-out guy. He can get you down low. He can take you out behind the 3-point line. Are we that bad, or will we be vying for the 8th seed?
I don't think they're going to be bottoming out and getting in the Victor Wembanyama sweepstakes. Who knows? The lottery odds have been flattened a little bit. So if the Wizards had a season like they did last year, where they had the 10th best odds, they have a higher percentage than they would have had just a few years ago. And we've seen some teams, if you're in the 6 or 7 range, you don't necessarily have to have the worst record in the league. If you have the 6th or 7th or 8th best odds, then it is possible to move up and maybe get the number 1 pick or maybe get the 2nd pick and get Scoot Henderson if he ends up being the 2nd pick. But no, I think they're going to be too talented to be in that sweepstakes. Maybe it's the play-in tournament. I think they could get one of the lower seeds in the Eastern Conference. The East is very tough, but I don't think they're in position to get a Wembanyama unless there were a bunch of injuries. And look, we've seen things go south for them in the past, so
real fast.
Anything is possible. But I expect them to be in the postseason this year.
All right. Well, Thank you for your time with us with the Wizards. Can we keep you for about another 10 minutes where we talk a little Brian Robinson?
Absolutely.
All right.
I was going to say, please ask me about the Commanders.
Yes. All right. Now let's get into a little Commanders talk. We're going to do our picks. I know everybody's here for the picks. We're going to do our college football picks once we're done with Chase. And Chase has been gracious enough to join us today. So, yeah. Brian Robinson rejoined the Commanders. He was activated yesterday. Lady A, go through that for us, please.
Okay, so yesterday, 10-5, we had Brian Robinson return to practice. Of course, if you missed it, it's been all over the news. It's been everywhere. But we're here to tell you that he's returned to practice. They signed one person to the practice squad. That was Christian DeLaro. And then we released Troy, and I do not want to mess up his name.
Troy Apke.
There you go. From the practice squad. They released him and then signed someone else. So they're making some moves on the practice squad. They've been doing that actually for the past couple of days, really.
I still don't see any transactions with my guy Eric Flowers.
I knew it. I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming.
I'm checking this thing like every day. Like every day we call it. Listen, somebody give me Eric Flowers' number. I will call him. I will make the trip up north to personally bring this man in. Listen, I got a couple of friends that are doctors. They may not have a real medical license, but he will pass the NFL physical. Listen.
Am I allowed to rant at this yet, or do I just need to go back to mute myself?
Just mute yourself. What do you think about this offensive line, Chase?
Oh man, it's really troubling for me because offensive line I think is so important, and like they had a good offensive line as of last year, and in recent years they've had some really good players on the offensive line. But when you let Trent Williams go, and then you let Brendan Sheriff go, and you don't replenish that with draft picks, then you arrive at a situation like this. Jahan Dotson looks great, and I think he's going to be a really good player, but I wonder if maybe they should have spent that pick on an offensive lineman, because I feel like it's pretty obvious that next year in the first round, they're going to have to address that. Yeah. And even in this day and age where skill positions are so important, you can't do anything unless you're protecting the quarterback. And I feel like Carson Wentz could probably do them some favors by getting the ball out quicker. And, we've seen how quarterbacks can affect the offensive line with timing, but they have to rebuild the offensive line, and it's a really important part of the roster. And now you go up against a team like Philly, whose defense is so dominant. I feel like they don't really have a chance to beat a team like that. You're just facing an uphill battle because you can't protect the quarterback.
And said you muted.
Oh, my son. My thing with the offensive line is that it's more. I believe offensive coordinator is offensive line. If they're not willing to make the adjustments in game to give these guys a hand, I'm not a Commanders fan, but I've been beating this drum religiously the last two games. If you're not going to make an adjustments to these guys who have superstars on the defensive end, it makes no difference what play you call. First play of the game, 1, 2, 3, quarterback is sacked. Second play of the game, 1, 2, 3, quarterback is sacked. That's more than just scheming. Offensive line, you have to make that adjustment. Rolling, leaving, rolling, tight end, wide receiver, chip. Belichick made major money off of doing this.
Yeah.
It's a simple adjustment. They still gonna run their route. Just do X, Y, Z. But
hey, say it while I got you here. I'm gonna go right back to muting myself. Just give me what happened last game. I don't know.
Really? He was in the stadium. Listen, ladies and gentlemen.
And he does this. Oh no.
Listen, ladies and gentlemen. He was in the stadium texting me. And I got my feelings. I was like, I'm done. I'm done talking to you. I'm done talking.
No, but I guess my thing with the whole Brian Robinson thing, I've been on Twitter and it has definitely been big news. Is this guy Earl Campbell or something? I guess that's just what I'm wondering. Is he gonna breakthrough pads or something when
Wait
he's
a minute.
playing? No, I'm being serious because
No, being serious.
he's
like,
not a savior. It's not going to
No.
make you guys.
No. So first of all, he's talented. Yes. He was a promising rookie that unfortunately was shot beforehand. So yes, people want to see him doing well back at practice. That's a big thing. So that's where all the hype is coming from. I mean, he's talented too. So that
really good
matters.
guy too. Plus, he's down by Ben Chili Bowl, good area, and 6:00 in the afternoon, and you get shot. Listen, I think that it's unfair to think that Brian Robinson coming back is going to turn everything around. Now, with that being said, Chase, I'm going to ask you a question as a fan, okay? If by some unknown miracle the Commanders lose the next 2 games, what would you be asking for as a fan if they are 1-5?
I think a coordinator's got to go at that point.
Yep.
Which one? We got to see how the next 2 weeks go, because I guess the defense has technically played a little bit better the last few weeks, but Del Rio obviously has been really disappointing the last 2 seasons. They had a good defense his first year, but yeah, you'd have to do something just to switch it up. Brian Robinson, it's an amazing story if he can actually play again and this season. I mean, I've never heard of anything quite like that where a player got shot in the knee as a running back and it came back.
Everything important.
Wow.
Huh. Did he just freeze?
No.
Someone just tried to open my front door.
I would have said.
Oh, yeah. It was like he pulled his head.
Nah, I can tell you saw that problem.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Said.
Oh, yeah.
Hey.
Sorry about that. Someone who does not live in my house just tried to open my front door.
That's
that was about to be a First Ring Podcast bringing all kinds of news, but not that. We don't
we don't want
Look at this Ring camera.
Oh yeah.
Wait, did she leave something at your door?
No, they tried to open my door and then they ran off.
Oh, she probably realized she's at the wrong house.
And the fact that I'm on this show right now. All right. But anyways, back to the question. So Brian Robinson, not only would it be an incredible story, but watching the preseason, I mean, he stood out to me. I thought he was their best rookie. Now, Jahan Dotson has been really impressive so far in the regular season, but Brian Robinson, he's like 6'2", 6'3", and very elusive. Like, I'm not saying he's Derrick Henry, but it definitely looks different when you watch him play.
Right.
Go ahead, Dan.
I guess my thing is, to fire Del Rio isn't a big deal to me, only because that's like saying you should brush your teeth after you eat fish. Like, that goes without saying. This guy has been a problem. He's been in the news for the wrong reasons. If you got a bunch of guys out hurt with injuries, it's kind of difficult to kind of judge a guy off of talent that may not be to the level of the starters that are out. But at the same time, it's like, come on. It doesn't seem like those guys are responding to him. Even if they so quote unquote played better over the last couple of games, I don't think that's saying much personally. But I mean, I think it's super scapegoaty.
Here's my question to y'all.
Mm-hmm.
All right, if you look at the Commanders' staff, right? If either coordinator goes, who's in the next position to call plays for that side of the ball? I'm just going to bring this back around a little bit to what we saw Sunday night. What we saw Sunday night, if you watched Sunday Night Football, was all of those coaches, Shanahan and McVay and your guy from Green Bay, all of them were in our building, and they competed with each other. There was a story that McVay said was he was the tight end coach, and if he offered up a play to Kyle Shanahan, he had to have, what if this play doesn't work? What if you get the wrong front? What if you get this? What if you get that? He had to have all of those answers before he submitted that play.
All right.
Who do we see taking Jack Del Rio's spot on defense, and who do you see taking Turner's spot on the offense? Because do we have that person in the building? Are they being challenged that way to prepare them for the next step?
Ryan Kerrigan?
That's a
Just
really
started
fast
that.
rise. That's a really fast rise.
That was a fast one.
Yeah, might be a little bit too fast.
That's way fast.
That's quick.
Oh, yeah.
But I will say this: I don't think that Del Rio. I think he has a valid argument right now. The defense is on the field too long. So the first person that would need to go would be Scott. Scott would need to go. Who they should choose, like I said before, hopefully they've been looking outside of the organization. They need someone new. I mean, it's as simple as that. Once that happens and we get our offense together and all these turnovers stop, because that's an issue. That's why your defense is on the field too long. Our offense is beating themselves. So once you get that in order, then we can turn our attention to Scott, for what he is or isn't doing. But right now, you look at either side of the ball, our offense is doing terrible. So once we get them together, Scott needs to go, new person in, then we'll be good to go. And then we can check on Del Rio later.
All right.
Yeah, also with Scott, just the fact that you have Wentz being here as a new quarterback, maybe you could keep some continuity. If you wanted to make a change, maybe it'd be easier to do it on the defensive side.
So I'm surprised. It's like on the defensive side, for me, it would be the secondary coach, but the secondary is playing really terrible, and the secondary coach needs to make some changes. He needs to move Kendall Fuller to safety, find Brian Robinson's William Jackson III's heart because it's missing, and then put Juice on the outside, right? So he would be the person that would take over for me, but he's not making any changes in his own position group. And I don't know if that's Jack Del Rio telling him we're fine with who we have. And on the offensive side, the only person I can think of is Ken Zampese, but I'm not sure that he's the guy. So I really don't understand. I mean, where we would go from here. I don't see it on the staff as I look through it. Like, okay, it's time to make some changes. Somebody's got to go. Somebody's got to be the sacrificial lamb. Just like you've been saying, somebody needs to get fired in the end zone. Find your own way home. And if we go to Chicago on a Thursday night, if we come up zeros, oh God. Oh man.
What about the guy that just left Minnesota? I can't think of his name. He was the head coach of Minnesota.
Oh, he's not on our staff. Yeah, he's not on our staff.
That's why I said. I wouldn't want to go with anybody on the staff. I think you're digging from a swamp or something when you're trying to stay on that staff.
But I don't know any NFL team that's going to bring somebody totally different in the middle of the season.
That's how bad they are, though. Right now, when you look at it, we're looking silly on the field. It has to be. I feel like if you want major changes, that's what you're going to have to do. We've done so many changes. Like, look at Scott. He's up in the booth. He's on the field. You have. We don't want to talk about Del Rio right now, but you see all of these changes that happen within our organization. At some point, you're going to have to wipe the slate.
Right. And pick, you may not like somebody from outside coming in, but think about it. You fired a defensive coordinator. Who are you going to bring in? Somebody, if you're going to you're going to elevate somebody who's already there to the position. So they're essentially calling the same defenses or making tweaks to the defense. It's still the same player, so they're still listening to the same incoming noise. But then to bring somebody from outside inside, wait a minute, he look at it like this. He looked at it like this. Now, at the end of the year, if you want that person to stay or you don't make a contract, then you can. But I don't think elevating somebody inside the team to that position after you fire, because it's almost like they're linked in some ways. You know what I'm saying? So it actually would be. They would have to bring somebody. So it wouldn't be early, unfortunately. But they got to go.
All right.
Could bring in Urban Meyer to coach the offense.
Oh Lord. Hey,
you know what?
Our kicker may need to be kicked.
Yeah.
You know what? You can always. Greg Williams is out there on defense.
Oh yeah.
Right.
I don't care what nobody says.
Hey,
I like Greg.
They went for culture with Ron Rivera. Maybe just Go in the opposite
Go the
direction.
opposite way.
And I'll go a step further on that. I'd get rid of Ron and bring in Sean, and I would hate that because I think that'll make you guys way better.
Sean's not coming. He's not coming. He wants a stable organization. And the Commanders
we
are
not it.
the opposite of stable. Like on a day when the Commanders had the best story in the NFL, Brian Robinson shot 2 months ago. The lawyers for Dan Snyder then puts out a 9-page story going at Congress and Congresswoman Pelosi, who lost her seat.
But you know what, Pick? He's right. Because Sean Payton is going to want control to pick who he wants to pick like he did in New Orleans. That's how come New Orleans was successful. He picked those players in New Orleans. It wasn't GM. It was Sean Payton.
But Sean Payton's going to have an owner that's going to be looking over his shoulder who's ready to get back in the fight. I mean,
Not right
The
now.
guy who's in Nazareth? What are you talking about?
what are you talking about? He was on the
He's in
field.
He's in
That
the
would be the
state
best thing for him would be to
Honestly,
let this guy make the picks
yeah.
and get out of the way.
But he was
Okay.
just on the field in Jerry's world.
now. Right,
So,
but I don't think that
supposed to
he's
be
going to be
suspended
looking
for a year.
over. He's
That
busy.
doesn't mean
not
he's
gonna
doing
be
his
looking over
job.
shoulder.
That just means
right.
he's an owner.
Hey, so thank you, Chase. We really, really appreciate the time that you gave us. I kept you like 10 minutes extra. We
It's
will
fun.
be. You just retweeted this out that you're on here, and it's actually live right now on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch. Yeah, we're everywhere right now. And then
Google.
it'll be on our audio platforms as well. So anywhere you get a podcast, we appreciate your time and thank you. And can we get you back again during the season? If I know you're gonna be busy.
Absolutely, man. Especially if you let me talk some Commanders, because I love doing that. But yeah,
Definitely
anytime,
will.
man. Let me know. It was
Definitely
good
will.
to meet y'all, and thanks for having me on.
No doubt. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right. That was Chase Hughes from NBC Sports Washington. Thank him for giving us the time that he gave us today. Definitely was fun breaking down the Wizards. And you just heard him. He say he'll come back and talk a little Wizards and Commanders with us again, which we all look forward to. So we are actually 42 past the hour, and we haven't done something yet. And we usually do it at the 15-minute mark. So y'all know what it is. It's time to play Who You Got, sponsored by BetRivers. Placing bets and cashing checks. It's time to make it do
My
what
bad.
it do.
These two over here. That's terrible.
All right. Hey,
I don't want to know what that dance
I
is.
don't Ed, do this. Do your thing, man. No, Ed, not that thing. Not
No,
that
no.
thing.
That's
Not that thing.
one.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was about to lay it up. Well, you know, this is where we find out who the big dogs are. You know what I'm saying? Turns out big dogs eat. Said sorry, man. You're actually still below me.
Oh, man.
Lady A's, you know, her and Two Pick are fighting for, you know, the tallest midget. You know what I'm saying?
You know what?
I got too many numbers there, player.
Sponsored by BetRivers. You say what now?
I got too many numbers there.
How you got too many numbers?
Go back and look at it. 27-23, 27-22. I got one too many games.
Yeah.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
We weren't tied last game.
No, look
Wait, you got 23. And you got
27-22. 27-22. So either we tied or
I see what you're saying.
He's supposed to have 22. 27,
right. I got one too many numbers there.
All right. That's my first graphics department blunder. I've been around this guy too long. Look at him. He can't even show his face. Look at him. Look at him. But yeah, you know, hey man, we got to make some picks here. So how we looking this week? First of all, thus far with the picks that we've done up to date, how y'all feeling about your picks? How y'all thinking this is gonna go down the stretch?
Man, this here college football has been crazy parity wise. I guess you can say through the year.
Yeah.
I've seen some interesting games go both ways. Some, like I said, it was Survivor Saturday. You know, I had already said that before they put it out on ESPN. You know, it's my Survivor. Hey, I said that last week.
They took it. They took it from you.
I might have to go to find. Hey, I might need a little paper for that.
You need a little chump change out there,
I might need a little paper.
Don't be trying to eat off the little man. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, you should have seen my paper when I seen it. Wait, let's see Savannah.
Oh, Kyle, I know that. You know that's a great pick, Kyle. Cowboys plus 4.5 at the Rams. Come on, you got to be kidding me.
Hey, first off, listen, I was away because I was protesting that board. I refuse to believe
what? He tried to argue with me. I'm like, fam, 1 + 1 is always 2. I thought I was doing better. Yeah, you won 2 games more than you lost this week. That's a great job.
You know what? I got you, buddy. Let's get into these picks. Y'all know it's time to get to it, right?
That's what I'm talking about.
Let's start this thing off. All right. So listen, we're gonna start this thing off. We got TCU and Kansas. TCU is -6.5 at -114 at -245. Now this is a battle right here. This should have probably been like a 6 o'clock game or 7 o'clock game, but KU is +6.5 at -107, +180. The over under set at 69.5. It's set at 69.5. I'm just making sure that these numbers are absolutely still staying where they are because these lines have moved earlier. The over under is set at 69.5 at 110 over and 110 under. So they are absolutely true. So pick and Lady A are at the bottom. Ladies first. Lady A, who you got?
So I feel this is going to be a very close game. With that said, I do feel that TCU is going to win. So for those who want to pick just on the money line, I would always go with TCU money line. However, I'm going to choose Kansas with the spread.
Kansas plus the 6.5.
I do feel like it's going to be pretty close.
And you know what? See, I actually do think that this game is going to be close, but I think like a late scoop and score or something like that is going to take care of TCU doing their thing, covering this 7 points pretty much. Give me TCU minus the 6.5. Say it. Give me TCU minus the 6.5.
That would be
Ant.
That would be Ant.
No. I'm just telling you because I don't know how to add. I'm just telling you because I don't trust it. I don't trust the ant mode right now.
Hey, pick, brother. It don't take much to add up a little to a little when it comes to you.
I'm writing my picks down.
You got a little to a little. I'm just glad you finally got over the hump and actually went positive for a week, for crying out loud. Anyway,
what did you pick anyway? Pick. What was your pick for that one? I was too busy laughing. What was your pick?
I picked TCU minus the 6.5.
Minus the 6. You laying 6.5?
Laying the 6.5. See, I've been telling y'all for a while that I have faith in TCU.
Okay.
I've been going
but
back and forth
hasn't
with this game.
TCU let you down though? A couple times.
No, they're undefeated.
That was Baylor.
They're undefeated.
It was Baylor. You're right.
I've been going back and forth with this game, trying to figure out which way to go.
Ants. Oh, okay. Yeah, say it. Go ahead.
No, Ant was a champ, so I'm going to let him go.
Yeah, beat me.
Even though
beat the man, you gotta beat the man.
Hey, even though A is before C, I'm gonna go ahead and let him go last.
Pass me up first. Dog it.
But you know what? I think I'm rolling with Lady A on this one. I think it's gonna be a close game, and I'm gonna go Kansas. They're plus 6.5.
Mm-hmm. Kansas plus the 6.5. Okay, Ant, go ahead, man. What you got?
All right. I think I'm gonna be the one to just be held by my convictions. You've been. I'll give you credit. You have been trying to tell us that TCU is it all year, and I don't know, man. I think at some point what did Malcolm X say? The chickens got to come to roost.
Yeah, they got to come home to roost.
This is the week KU go down, man. I don't think they're making it to the championship or anything like that. So give me TCU, but give me the straight up win minus 245.
I knew you was gonna do that. I knew that dude was gonna do that. I knew he was gonna do that. I knew he was.
You mean I'm not picking the spread to hedge myself all the time like you do?
No, listen. I'm just saying. Look, Kyle said TCU minus the 6.5. TCU with the win. TCU over minus the 6.5. Go Caps is on a different story right now.
Maybe you should try to do what I do. Maybe your regular look better.
Oh,
Yeah. Okay. I'm trying to win the money. Okay.
Uh-oh.
I'm trying to get the belt at the end of the year.
How's that been working out for you?
Follow me, son. All right.
Oh.
Here's another good game right here. Now, may be good for somebody, may not be good for other people. Brian Kelly's got to get his LSU accent together. That accent that he was working on that's gone. He's got these guys playing better, but undefeated Tennessee now rolls in, and this line, fellas and lady, has moved all day between 3.5, 2.5. It's going the wrong way for what I like to say. Is literally going the wrong way. We got Tennessee at -2.5, -114. Their win line is or their money line is -148. -148. We got LSU at +2.5, -107 at +117. At +117. Lady A, you and I are tied. So you went first the last time. I'm gonna go first this time, okay?
Okay.
All right. I really do like Coach 30, and Coach 30 said that next time he's gonna have David's mom play quarterbacks. Their quarterback is special. Y'all got to see Coach 30. It's a little thing we got going on in the chat.
You couldn't even get that out. You
Right.
couldn't even get it out. Hey, I'm gonna kick both of y'all out. Never mind. She can stay.
You can leave. You want
Coach 30, Coach 30's a trip. Listen,
Oh my
but
goodness.
I think that Tennessee has a special quarterback. I think that their quarterback makes up the same way that we need a quarterback in the NFL to make up for what your offensive line doesn't do when your wide receiver's not playing. I think Hoker is that quarterback. He's nice and mature. I think he gives LSU fits, even though LSU has a fast defense. I just don't think they're going to be able to score with them. So I'm going to go ahead and take Tennessee on the money line. Give me Tennessee on the money line, Lady A.
Okay, so Jaden Daniels from LSU, he hasn't thrown an interception this season. He's on it. 67.9%. However, Tennessee, I mean, Hendon Hooker, he is on it. And because of him, really, mainly because of him, that's the reason why I think their offense is ranked number 1. So I'm just going to go off of that. I'm just going to go with Tennessee money line. I think that they're going to pull it out.
Whoa. Say it.
The game.
Okay. There you go.
For those of us who actually watch NCAA football, shout out. Anyway, no. Tennessee LSU. Tennessee does have a great offense. They run a bunch of plays. They try to get everybody off. But the thing about Brian Kelly is he teaches great defense. They have been into some defensive stands the last 2 games. It has come down to the last few plays in the last quarter, and because they're playing in LSU, give me them Tigers down in Death Valley.
No, you fighting with the Tigers in Death Valley, huh? Say it.
All right.
Okay, and
Money line. I'm sorry.
money line. Oh, plus the 117. You like the bait.
Yeah, well, you know, it don't matter what Brian Kelly did the last 2 games. It doesn't, because he sucks. And this ain't your mama's Volunteers, okay? And guess what? Tennessee has a defense as well. So I guarantee you that even in what that defense of LSU will be able to do with Tennessee, that they'll still be able to outscore LSU, even if it's by 1 point. So, yes, give me Tennessee on the money line and get his joker what he deserves.
He's a
I
man.
love it, Sid, because all that matters is that big dogs eat, and that big fish eat little fish, Sid.
Oh,
And-
man.
And
This
guess
is why
what?
nobody can catch Ant right here, because he always try to pick with it. Hey, listen,
Start picking.
Kyle. You know what else I like about this game right here, Kyle? I do actually like the under on this under the 65 points. I really do like that under. I'm just talking to Cal right now.
Yeah, I
Don't even
know.
worry about it.
We
I'm talking
know.
to Cal.
We know. You ain't picking no under. You ain't picked the over under all season.
Hey, I do pick them.
No, not as official on this scorecard.
Oh, okay. Don't worry about that. All right. We got the Arkansas Razorbacks and Mississippi State. M-I crooked letter I crooked letter back I State. Listen, these two teams are going in different directions, man. They both a little bit on that struggle bus, but this could be a get right game for someone. The question is, which team is it going to be a get right game for? Let's look at this line real fast, okay? All right. We got Arkansas plus 9.5 at minus 109. Their win line is plus 265. For Mississippi State, we're at minus 9.5 at minus 112, and their win line is minus 345. That's a lot of money to put on the money line, but somebody is probably going to do it. That away.
That
Hey, mind your business. Pick your picks, bro. Pick your picks. Pick your picks. Pick.
The over under is set at 58 with minus 109 for the over, minus 112 for the under. All right, Lady A, you're up.
So this particular game, I'm looking at that spread and I'm like, that is crazy right now. Did this change? Just a little bit.
It moved a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit. Not too bad. All right, well, I'm going Mississippi State money line.
Mississippi State money line for Lady A. Listen, Arkansas has had 2 bad ones in a row. And they really are in need of some get right. Their quarterback is their quarterback. Wide receivers they're not doing them too much justice. Mississippi State, they also need a good game. But I'm gonna take Arkansas's quarterback in this one right here. I think he's gonna make some things happen. And I'm going with Arkansas money line right here, plus the 265. I like cha-ching all day. I'm taking the bait. As much as I say Vegas knows more than you do. They do, but
my man. Look at here. This is what's going on. Arkansas has played 2 very good teams the last 2 weeks. Simple as that. You know, one of them was Alabama. We all know who Alabama is. One slip up and you can get blown out, which is what happened to Arkansas. Mm-hmm. But Arkansas is a very, very good team. Mississippi State already has 1 loss on their record.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they playing at home. Yeah, they got a little nice win last week against Texas A&M. Texas A&M is garbage. So whatever. They can throw that win out the window. Now, if these regular backs come in and run the ball like they're supposed to, TOP, throw the ball every now and then, Arkansas come out to win money line.
Arkansas with the win money line is what it says. And
yeah, those were your mama's A&M Aggies. Yeah, I'm not buying into Mississippi State at all. I think this is fool's gold. They are really buying into a team that what they did last week is not special. It was just shame on any of us who took A&M in any capacity is the real problem here. They were who we thought they were. And so we're going to make that right, and we're going to cash some checks and place some bets. Give me the Arkansas Razorbacks plus 265. We love you, Linda.
Plus 265.
So I'm by myself.
Say it. She's a woman on an island.
On my own.
On her own.
On my own.
Okay. I added this game where we normally give you 8 good picks. We're going to give you 9 today because I added this game. We talked about these Maryland Terps on Tuesday. Listen.
I knew you were going to slide them in there, but go ahead.
Yeah, I did, man. I had to slide them in there because nobody said, let's get that Maryland game in it. Listen, this game right here is an 11 o'clock game, 12 o'clock game on East Coast, 11 o'clock for us. Listen, I'm getting all my chores done early because I want to sit here and watch this game. I want to see Locks do his thing. I want to see Maryland's offense versus this Purdue defense. Purdue has a very, very they have a good defense. They have a quarterback that will carve you up if you give them the opportunity to. And Maryland secondary hasn't played the best, but they're getting better. Maryland has an opportunity here to be favored in their next 5 games. They got to survive this one, though. And this game, this line keeps moving. This line is moving more than a bed bug.
Easy.
It is. It really is, right?
It's not good.
No, it's not good. That is not good because that is terrible, right? Listen, it was down to 2.5. It was back up. It was up to 3.5. This thing is down to 3 now. So here's the line. You got Purdue +3 at -106, +130. You got Maryland at -3, -115, -162 is their win line. The over-under is set at 58.5 at -112 for the over, -109 for the under. Is it me now, Lady A? Or it's me, right?
I just noticed what y'all was doing. That's cute too. The way y'all keep intersecting y'all's thing. That's cute.
You know what?
Yeah, it's
You know
on
what?
you.
Yeah, it's on you. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Okay. You know what? If we got the same record, and look,
I mean,
Said going second until he up me though. Hey, don't get no ideas, sir. Don't get no ideas.
Beat the man. You gotta beat the man.
Gotta beat the man.
listen, I like Maryland here. I like Maryland here. Homer pick, but it's just that Maryland's getting it right in the positions that matter. Their wide receivers are not playing well right now, but their running game is on point. Time of possession is what said. Their offensive line and defensive line are Big Ten caliber now. I think they have the bodies to compete with the Michigans, the Ohio States, the Michigan States, the Wisconsins up front. So give me Maryland, and that's how everybody usually beats Purdue, is they pound them into submission. But Purdue thought that, Minnesota tried to do that last week and walked away with an L. So give me Maryland money line, please.
I already knew that. I put it in as soon as I saw this. He did all that. Purdue will slice you up. Cap, actually, but okay.
Well, I will say that Maryland does have a lot of offensive weapons, but the defense is probably if they lose the game, it's because of the defense. However, I'm going to be honest with you. I am biased in this game. I'm going to go ahead with the home team in College Park, Maryland, for the money line.
Bruce Glass said, give me Maryland. I'll take the over. He said he's taking the over. Go Caps. You saw it. He said go Maryland.
Yeah.
And then Kyle said he's landed 3.5. He said he's landed 3.5. Hey, I really do want to lay the 3.5, Kyle. I'm right there with you. The money, the difference in that money right there. But I just believe in them outright. I just think they're gonna win this thing outright. So I'm good with it. Say it.
You real secure in this pick right here.
I'm secure. I'm real secure. Yeah.
But I'm let me go ahead and dissect what you said. They had an offensive line to compete with Michigan. How well did that work out for them?
Well, that was the defense line.
Well, they covered, and I got that. So.
My man. But you're right. This is a very interesting game because we had Purdue early in the year, and they played some good football.
And I told y'all I'm never picking Purdue again.
But they won one and they lost one, and then they lost the other one behind that one. So we kind of fell off on them. But then they turned around and had a big win against a team that was undefeated. So which Purdue team is going to show up?
The losing
is the Purdue team that won the first game and then beat the undefeated Minnesota team?
The Purdue that should have beat Penn State.
There you go. They fell in the middle over that. But you know what? Maryland did play Michigan a lot better than they thought they would last week. So with that being said, give me Purdue with the +3.
Wait, what?
Like that, huh?
What?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I don't know how to feel about this one. I don't think that Maryland is world beaters by any stretch. But I don't. Oh, okay. As they quote Mo3. I don't know. I don't know how to go with this game. Man, I tell you what, I'm gonna do a little strategery here.
Hey, you over there with some head busters.
I don't want him to win all by himself.
Oh, he said when.
Oh, I said it. I don't want him to win all by himself. So if he loses, he's not gonna lose all by himself. You know why? Because these two can't beat us, Sid. These two
You hear this
won't
dude's whole
catch.
strategy?
These two won't catch us.
Reason why?
These two won't catch us. So if I take a loss,
my God.
if I take a loss, I'll take one, and you're gonna take it with me. So how about this?
Terrible.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
He'd rather
I'm not-
keep it a tie than
No. I'm not doing that. I'll
Yeah.
take Maryland minus the 3.
Maryland minus the 3. All right. Okay, this.
Whoa. You know what that means, don't you?
Said it's by himself.
It is all by
Hey, Wilson better not be okay this weekend. He better be. flat.
I'm loving it because I'm putting 2 games up on him. I'm putting 2 games up on him. You thought I was gonna fall for that? I ain't falling for that, Sid.
Hey, this next game right here, this is one of those games with, one of those traditional games, right? But these two teams here are going, who cares? Like, Texas,
Quentin Ewers is back.
Texas is, we don't know who they really are. They have one of the best running backs in the nation. OU they are who we thought they were. They're a team that's in full rebuild right here. Last week we told you guys to come off of them, and I'm still off of them. Let's go over this line right here. All right, we have Oklahoma at plus 8.5 at minus 110. Their win line is plus 240. Texas is minus 8.5 at minus 110. Their win line or money line is minus 315. The over-under 65.5, 110 both ways. 65.5, 110 both ways. I think Ant is telling us who he got, and
Yeah.
Lady A.
So I'm not that familiar with this rivalry. From what I
listen.
hear, Texas
Biggest
fans.
rivalry in college football.
No, it's not. The Red River Shootout.
I know that Texas fans wait for this game. I do know that. It's like nah. But
Oklahoma fans wait for it.
okay. Well, I saw that Texas fans wait for it, but that's okay. I don't have a dog in this fight. So with that said, I do feel like I've been looking at Texas, a little bit over this season, and I feel that Texas will pull it out. I'm just gonna go with Texas money line with that 315.
Wait.
Yep.
Y'all are killing me with this.
Yes.
And you're often wrong. You're often wrong when you try to make us pick the spread.
The thing pick, you're looking at it from the money aspect of it. We're looking at it from the leaderboard aspect of it. That's what the problem is. Money aspect, leaderboard.
Yeah.
Money aspect, leaderboard.
No,
That's what the disconnect is.
And that's why I've given 2 different ways to go.
Right.
I've done that, like, so and so's gonna win, but this I'm gonna pick, the spread or whatever the case may be. I feel as though this game, Texas fans, don't be mad at me, it's probably going to be a little closer, so you can go with OU in the spread.
Oh, you're
right.
But
I'm going to choose the Texas with the money line.
Well, I'm gonna tell you
how this really my official.
I'm gonna tell you how this is really gonna go. The best running back in the league is gonna put up Heisman type numbers this Saturday. And against what's his name, Venerable from Clemson, and this is his squad. Yeah, he's about to embarrass this man and show him that OU does not have the talent that he's used to at Clemson on that defense. This running back is special. Listen, go with Texas minus the 8.5. I'm telling you, lay the 8.5. This running back's gonna go off. You just heard Ant tell y'all that the quarterback is back. Hewitt, who's special? He's special as well.
Hello, Ant.
Right. But that's the way to go with this. It's supposed you go with Texas lay the 8.5. This is not really a rivalry. Go with Texas lay the 8.5. It's going to be a blowout. Texas is walking away with that gold hat again. I'm telling you. Well, Caleb Williams stole it last year. So Texas gets that thing back. And it won't be horns down. It'll be horns up. So
Okay.
go.
Well, I'm going Texas money line. So
Okay.
Go ahead, say it.
Hey, Ant, before we get any further along, I want to make an addendum to one of my picks, like that.
Hey man.
Hey, the Arkansas.
Since when are we doing
game,
addendums?
I'm feeling something here. The Arkansas game, give me the plus 9.5.
What?
So
you
you
said
wanna
you gonna go?
The Arkansas game, give me I had Arkansas money line, give me that plus 9.5.
Okay,
You
who
think
was
they're just gonna blow them out by 10?
It was Arkansas playing Mississippi State.
Mississippi State.
Yeah, give me Arkansas plus 9.5.
Okay, I feel
Okay,
you.
I got you.
I'm feeling I was feeling a little different about that one. Okay,
Okay.
now
all right.
this Texas OU game. You're right, Pick. You're definitely right. Brent Venables, but see what you miss though is the one guy who's giving Alabama fits is the defensive coordinator from Clemson.
Yeah,
Who was the defensive coordinator in Clemson?
Venable.
Right. So with that being said, it's going to be a blowout in the fourth quarter. It's going to be close until then.
Oh, okay.
But I think Texas, because of Sarkisian, he knows Venable. And Texas will blow this game out. But it's not going to be until the fourth quarter. And it's going to have people on skates until then.
Mm-hmm.
And light pick, I'm going to take Texas, and I'm going to lay that 8.5.
Tried to told you. I'm telling y'all, I'm not even interested in this game.
I am.
You should be. You
This
should
game
be, sir.
Comes on at the same time as Maryland and Purdue. Listen, I'm gonna be everywhere. I'm gonna be
Nobody
watching the
watching
TCU game. I'm gonna be watching the TCU game. I'm gonna be watching the Maryland Purdue game. I'm gonna be
It's
watching
so shady.
the 11 o'clock, the 11 o'clock hour, the 12 o'clock hour has about 7 games that I want to watch. I'm gonna be, what you say? I'm gonna be watching this one. I'm gonna be watching that one. I'm gonna be, man.
That's right. I'm being
I'm gonna
worked
have-
over, yeah.
You say your eyes gonna be over here, over there, over there, over there.
It's gonna be everywhere. All right,
It's
Ant,
on
go
you,
ahead.
Ant.
Who you got, Ant?
Listen, I think getting Ewers back opens up this offense a lot. What the backup kid couldn't do was move the ball down the field with precision. And so it was a lot of running and a lot of short stuff. And I think that opens up the doors a lot. With that being said, I'm going to follow suit here. Give me Texas minus 8.5. I think they do open this thing up late, and it's not pretty. Go Longhorns, baby.
All right.
Now, I don't want y'all crying if they only win by like 3 points. 'Cause I pick money line.
You picked OU?
No.
All of us pick Texas. Everybody in Texas. She
Look,
just
I'm
picked
looking
money
at
line.
you, Lady A. Lady, I'm looking at you.
Because if they only win by like 3 points, there's only one winner out of this, okay?
You know what? Hey, guess what, Lady A? I'm making an addendum, like said. Give me Texas on the money line.
There you go.
You're not even strong in your convictions. When you
Oh,
walk up
my
to the
goodness.
I was gonna pick money line from the beginning, but I let you two clowns do all that extra stuff. This is a rivalry, baby. It's the Red River rivalry,
I'm
okay?
gonna start treating you like I treat Trav, man. I'm gonna start treating you like I treat Trav. I walk up to the window and I say everything that he had. Give me the opposite.
Hey, do that, because screw the spread. I'm money line Trav.
Mhm.
Hey, let's get this next game in here right now. All right, we have the Utes, the Utah Utes versus. Oh, they're traveling down to UCLA. Traveling down to UCLA. Now, listen, the Utah Utes have been kicking butt. Now they have been in some battles, and I'm telling you right now, this is one game that I call going over. I'm telling you, this game is going over. I've also said that there are some special quarterbacks running around in college football. UCLA has one of those special quarterbacks. This dude is dynamic, right? If you haven't seen UCLA's quarterback, do yourself a favor. This is the second slate of games. Make sure that you're watching this game. Find it where you can find it, okay? We got the Utah Utes, and they have a very nice quarterback. They have a running game, some nice wide receivers, and they have some defense too. This line goes like this: Utah -3.5 at -110. The win line is -182. That's their money line. The UCLA, and that is University of Compton left at a launcher. Ask Doc Walker; he'll tell you. They are +3.5 at -110, +145 on their money line. The over/under set at 64.5 at -112 for the over, -109 for the under. Is it you or me, Lady A?
It's on you.
All right. Make this short and sweet, toothpick. Give me UCLA plus the 3.5.
So you said UCLA? Okay.
Yep, give me UCLA plus 3.5. Kyle got it before the line moved. He got it at plus 4.5.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice.
We got you, Bruce. We going there.
Okay. Well, I'm actually going the other direction. Their coach is doing a great job for Utah. Cameron Rising, is that who you were referring to?
Yep, that's their quarterback, Cameron Rising.
So Cameron is doing great. He's starting for this particular game. They're scoring 42 points per game while keeping their opponents at 14.4 points a game. I got Utah on this, and I'm actually gonna go with Utah and a -3.5.
Whoa, we gotta move off of that win line.
I've already done that.
Yeah, you have.
You absolutely have, Lady A. Don't you take this from me.
Hey, let me hear that background.
I want my little Kim.
Oh my.
Anyway, Lady A, that was not the quarterback pick was talking about. Let me go to put that out there right now. He said the UCLA quarterback, which is DTR.
Utah.
DTR.
Which is
Both of these
DTR.
quarterbacks are really good.
Dorian Thompson. I forget what the R stand for. But anyway, he was talking about DTR.
I'm gonna just say Robinson.
He has played in this system for 3 years. He's a senior. And he has his system down like the back of his hand. I don't know if you've seen Coach 30 in his replays of this game, the last game he was in. But the boy got some major wheels.
Well, I got to get Coach 30 over here. I got to get Coach 30 on the show, man.
And he does his thing. UCLA is going to win this game. Give me UCLA plus that 3.5.
UCLA plus the 3.5. Yeah, DTR is Ed. Yeah, DTR is definitely an amazing dude. Yeah.
Oh, me?
Okay, Ed.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Pick. Pick don't even want to let me do my pick.
What you gonna do? What you gonna do?
Sorry, somebody started asking me a random question. Listen, I don't. For some reason, I just feel something in my shana now that's telling me to pick UCLA on the plus 3.5.
Not the shana now.
Yeah, something in my shana now is just telling me.
Is it because it said?
No.
Never. Okay, listen. If you can beat a dog over the head, why would you then ask the dog, hey, how did I beat you over the head? Yeah. I heard you say it.
Oh, my bad.
UCLA plus 3.5.
Oh, I'm by myself.
I got you.
So.
Oh, wait a minute, lady. Gotta give you everything to give you part of it.
Hey, it's something about Mr. Cow.
He'll make you feel good, don't he?
When he ain't in trouble, Stupid.
Oh, he real stupid.
But we're not gonna go down that street.
Yeah.
He back in jail though. That's basically what I'm saying.
Hey, that's the real Deshaun Watson.
Hey, Mr. Cal, like, there I go.
Where you gone?
What I do? What I do?
They keep bumping me against the. Oh, my bad. Go ahead.
Oh yeah. You know I let you slide before. Okay, never mind. All right. Hey, we got an undefeated team versus a team that don't like to give up no points. This is going to be, you talk about a clash of styles right here. Oh, my God. We like to score a lot of points, but we know you like to score a lot of points, but we don't give up points. So we just going to meet and see who win. That's what we're going to do right here. That's literally what this game is right here. You got K-State coming off an amazing win last week. And what do they get? They get a team that doesn't like to give up points in Iowa State. Now, the problem with Iowa State is they don't like to score points either.
They also don't like to win when you need them to.
So y'all can see, this is a pick'em game because K-State is traveling to Iowa to play this game in the middle of nothing but corn. So you got to watch out for the corn. You don't know where the crows are going to jump out at you at and everything like that. So I'm just scrolling to make sure I got this line right, and I do. So let's go down this line. We got K-State -1 at -113. Their win line is -122. We got Iowa State at +1 at 108 at -104. Why is this line so low? Because I told you, Iowa State does not like to give up points. When they played Iowa, I thought that game was going to be like 13-10. Like, and it would have been amazing if they hit 20 points. So their over/under is set at 45 at -108 for the over, -113 for the under. Just a little something, just so y'all know, I am taking the over in this game. No, that's personal though. That's personal. I'm taking the over in this game because I think that K-State's going to bust that down wide open. It can only hold for so long, and it's time for it. Pause. It's time for that dam to explode. Pause. Okay.
Pause.
I was just waiting. I had to let it sink in.
We're going off the rails. Give us a pick for us. Go all the way off the rails.
Yeah. Hey, it's a pick 'em right here. -1. Give me K-State -1 at -113 because money line is just giving away free money right here. So give me K-State the -1. Lady A.
I'm gonna go with K-State with the money line because I really feel like this is gonna be a close game. I do feel like it's gonna be a close game. How close? I'm not sure.
Pick says, let me get the -1 because you're just giving away money on the money line. Lady A, what do you think? Give me K-State on the money line.
Exactly.
Wait. Hold on. Wait. The money line is just winning by 1 point, right?
Yeah.
It pretty much is, right? Now,
1 point.
You're giving away money because it's -122. The same thing is available with the spread, and you saving money. So that
what happens when they win by more than 1 point?
When K-State wins by more than 1 point, you still win.
Oh well, yeah, for the spread. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, you still win.
You're right.
Hold on, Lady A, don't let them bully you. If you want to,
I'm still going money line.
Yeah. Hey, Big, she's still going money line, man. Quit bullying, Lady A.
I understand what he's saying. Like that's fine. That's perfect.
Then we Matt Ryan out.
Educate the people.
You're right, Pitt. You got a team that can put up points, and you got a team that defensively don't like giving up points, and Iowa State's playing at home. That's a fumble. Anyway, Iowa State has been known to knock off rated top 10 rated teams coming into Iowa State to play.
Yeah, they do.
So with that being said, go ahead and give me Iowa State at home. They're +1.
What in the world just popped up here?
Mississippi Delta versus Northwest football.
I don't know.
You got to pick?
I got it.
Okay.
What's junior? Is that what does the J stand for? Just random.
Thank you for watching, but I'm about to put you on.
National Junior College Athletic
This might
Association.
be quick for us. We might get in cheap on some of these picks.
Yeah, but that's National Junior College Athletic Association.
I'm about to remove that.
So we got K-State, Iowa State. We got Said that decides to do it again. Let's do it again and go Iowa State +1. Buddy, you put me in a tough predicament. I can't lie. You put me in a well of a way. Sheesh. As many
well of a way.
Yeah, well, you put me in a well of a way.
He said sheesh.
Listen, listen. As Manny Fresh fades off into the background, which place more likely has Gators, Kansas State or Iowa State?
Gators.
Yeah. This says I just heard Gator boots. I'm trying to find something. I'm really,
nothing. There's nothing.
Both of these cities is landlocked.
It's landlocked.
Corn and grass.
That's what they got.
Well,
they asked which one more likely got a lot of snakes.
What's the mascot for Iowa State?
A cyclone.
It ain't a gator.
Cyclone.
What is that thing? A wildcat? Cyclone.
Dust. You know your cyclone and dust.
Yeah, it's an eye, but it's spinning.
Oh, that thing. Yeah, that's weak sauce. All right, Wildcat beats that. I thought it was something about a storm, like a cyclone storm. But anyway, give me. I'm going with Lady A here. Give me the money line. -122. Wildcats. You know what that means, Said. You know what that means, Said. And you ain't getting all of these, buddy. So guess what? Wilson! Bring me back my son! Give me back my son!
All right. In the game of somebody's got to win, we got the Florida State Seminoles versus the NC State Wolfpacks. NC State got it handed to them last week by the Clemson Tigers. They gave everything they could handle and some. They tried to lead the game at halftime, and the referee said, "No, you got to come back out here and finish facing the music." And their defense got just thoroughly dominated. Got a little some of this, a little some of that. They didn't know which way did he go. Which way did he go? Which way did he go? They really couldn't figure it out. Florida State has been in a groove quietly. Their quarterback, we can talk about special quarterbacks. He's not special, but he's good enough. He's good enough to get it done, to get the ball to the playmakers. And Florida State, again, have found speed. Like they kept it in the state this year. Their defense is playing pretty well. Here's the line. We got Florida State +3, -112 at +118 on their win line. You got NC State -3 at -109. You got their win line or their money line at -152. The over-under set at 50.5 at 113 for the over, 108 for the under. Is it me or you, Lady A?
Last one was supposed to be me, but you went, so I'll go.
Go ahead.
So both of these teams are coming off 10-point losses. So they're both in their feelings. And they both had 4-0. So, I mean, both of them are going to come into this game, trying to get themselves together. However, with that said, I feel like NC State is going to have this. Florida State has dropped 5 spots from week to week. So there's a reason for that. They're not looking so great. I'm going with NC State money line.
Hey, after the way that NC State got treated last week, right? With a tough, this is one of those weeks where you don't beat your players down. You love on them, right? And that coaching staff should love on their players this week, or they should have loved on their players this week and showed confidence. And well, not like that, but you know what I mean. Like physically not beating them down. Look at the tape. and then reemphasize those techniques and things that got them to their undefeated portion until they ran into Clemson, right? I think that NC State gets back to winning football this week. I think they take Clemson and say, we'll see you again later down the road. Are they on the same side? I got to check, see if they're on the same side in the ACC. But give me – I just got to go with the tomahawk chop. Give me Florida State pulling this out right here. Florida State on the money line.
Okay.
I had to go back and look at the stats on that last game, and it told me quite a bit. First of all, they should have put that boy from Valdosta back in there to throw that rock. I'm just going to leave it at that. He didn't play quarterback. He didn't play quarterback last week. The boy who got hurt in the game where he came in and won played last week. So we're going to leave that right there on the floor. So with that being said, the offense didn't get into gear into the third quarter. We actually didn't get into 2 field goals in the third quarter, so actually didn't do much at all. I mean, his stats look good. His stats look good, 23 for 35, 281, 3 touchdowns.
Right.
But, he rushed the ball 6 times, for 2 yards, which means the offensive line's not doing jack dizzle. I think NC State is still shell-shocked from last week. And if Florida State was paying attention, they're going to do some of the same things, so they're going to get to see it again. I'm going with pick. I'm going with the tomahawk chop money line.
And
Man, I tell you, man, Lady A, man, these guys are losers, man. These guys are losers, man. NC State is gonna do what they're gonna get the job done. Okay. Florida State is too up and down. It's not worth really trying to put your money on that. You said,
and that's why you go with them.
You say, hey, you just don't interrupt me while I'm making my picks here, pick. Hey, yeah, you let the winner go. You know why? Because big dogs eat. The only thing that matters is that big fish eat little fish. Okay? Man, shout out to Henry Lowe, man, from Great Debaters, man. I get so inspired every time.
Oh my God.
Give me NC State, man. Give me -3. I'm gonna go ahead and do the -3 because I'm gonna play by the rules of betting on this one. Give me minus. Man, don't encourage me, man. Don't encourage me, man. I'll keep it going.
Just laying the 3.
Oh my goodness.
That he is killing me. All right. Now, hey, Travis has been on here, and Travis has told us if it don't work out, you do not chase late. Don't do it, right? Oh, say it done froze on us. Say it.
Come back, say it.
Baby,
come back. You can blame it all on me.
Wow.
All right.
Said you come back.
Oh Lord. If one thing Travis has taught us, Travis said, "Do not chase late. Do not chase late." So yeah, I see that you're frozen. Say, so with that being said, we gave y'all 8. Here comes number 9. So at the end of the day, if you find yourself in a pickle where you couldn't get the diaper money or the gas money right, do not chase late. But here's a gimme for you, just in case you do. All right. We got Oregon versus Arizona. All right. This is the 8:00 game. This is an 8:00 game. 9:00 East Coast, right? 9:00 East Coast. You got Oregon. They should thoroughly cover this without a doubt. They should cover this. Oregon versus Arizona at -13, -110. Their win line is -530, right? -530 on the win line. You got Arizona at +13, -110, +350 on the win line. The over-under 70.5 at -110 both ways. Said is trying to get back in right now. And Kyle said, I will pass.
Pass.
I'll pass.
I might pass as well. Give you Chunks a chance.
He said he's going to pass. You ready, Sid?
Yeah, is it on me? Is it my pick?
No. It's on me.
Yet.
It's on me, but we hear you in the background. We hear your background.
Oh, come on.
There we go.
Of course, I'm always ready. I'm always ready to go play.
Okay, so hey, this is pretty easy, man. 13 is a terrible number, but give me Oregon. I'm laying the 13.
Well,
Lady A.
so I feel like if anybody has Donald Duck as their mascot, you go with
No. Oh, don't sleep on
Don't
Donald
do
Duck.
it.
He's
No.
the most suspended mascot in college football.
That's what I'm saying. Donald Duck has even on the shows, he has temper tantrums and goes buck wild. He's crazy. I like Donald. However, outside of Donald, Oregon has hit the money line in 11 of their last 16 games. So I am going with Oregon money line. You heard right.
Look at Lady A.
You heard right.
I see you over there, Lady A.
I'm not even talking about that crazy money line you just picked.
I'm talking about Ant. Ant was leaning in like, what? Yep.
I'm
They
talking
have
about
hit the money line in 11 of their
No. I'm laughing because I know he's not a fan of that, but I was actually just putting your score down.
No.
See,
I'm just looking at how Carson Wentz was the problem in Indianapolis.
We know it wasn't.
And they got Matt Ryan.
Offensive line is garbage player. He running for his life.
Offensive line is terrible.
Running for his life.
Just
like Carson Wentz isn't our complete problem.
Well, let's finish this first, and we'll go back to that.
Yeah.
Oregon has somewhat righted the ship since that beatdown they got in week 1. Bo Nix is playing much better. Defense is playing like University of Georgia, but we're going to that too. But them boys is humming. They humming right along.
All right.
Arizona is going to be Arizona. You know, hey, it is what it is.
They ain't got Gronk walking through that door.
Give me Oregon. And you know what? I'm going to lay that 13 as well.
On you, Mr.
The
Ant.
defense travels.
Well, first of all, they about to do karaoke in this joint. But second of all, I didn't get to say this on the last one. What Lady A was talking about.
That's a fumble.
Both teams' feelings is hurt. There's two things that I love. When she say somebody's feelings is hurt, and when she say, "Oh," she really means it from the bottom of her heart.
I do.
So with that being said, I'm not gonna lie to you. Good Lord,
You are so embarrassed.
Oregon minus 13.
Oregon minus the 13.
That's everybody.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are on the verge of one great weekend. We got college football on Friday. We also have the start of the Major League Baseball playoffs. Said got into it a little bit last week. He told y'all his Atlanta Braves are sitting at home waiting on the winner of their game. But let's talk a little baseball and what we see coming up real fast. All right. So, man, things started off hot for a couple of teams, and they are sitting at home. Mainly the Boston Red Sox, can't stand them. But the Yankees are sitting at home waiting. You got the Seattle Mariners who made the playoffs. You have the Atlanta Braves, of course. You got the Mets. They're in. You got the Houston Rockets. They're in. Man, this thing is about to be fire. Say it. Which matchup are you looking forward to most of all? Or first, which matchup are you looking forward to? Well, bless you, Sam.
Man, I don't develop some allergies. I need to see the bracket, the new bracket that they put out yesterday after the last win.
I got
see who's playing what. But don't worry, but I have it right here real quick.
You got a best of 3 series. You got a best
The
of
one
3
I
series
like-
for the.
Tampa.
You got the Guardians and the Rays.
Oh
That's
yeah, I got it right here. You know what? I like this San Diego Mets. San Diego's playing some good ball toward the end of the season, and they're gonna get a Mets fits, and hopefully they make the Mets go the full amount of time so they can come in a little tired in the second round and get some monsters in the Atlanta Braves.
I actually agree with him. That's a wild card, and I feel like that's something to watch. The Padres and the Mets.
The Padres and the Mets.
Yep.
And which matchup are you looking forward to, man? And said my Rangers are done. So, we can't come to you. It's too loud. And said it's too loud. All right, I got you. And said it's too loud. They singing over here. Listen, this Blue Jays Mariners matchup. You got a nice young batter for the Blue Jays. He led all of the rookies. What's his name, man? Paulie was on this dude, man. God dog, I cannot remember his name right now. You got him, and then you got the Blue Jays pitching, and you have young the son. Oh my God, Guerrero, Vlad Guerrero Jr.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh my God, man, these baseball names, they get me. So you got him. So I'm really looking forward to see which bat comes out of that area, comes out of that wild card to face the winner of the Astros right there, because I think that's going to be a really good, interesting matchup. And then as far as the Guardians and Rays, Tampa Bay, anytime they get into the tournament, they got a chance of winning the whole thing because they're going to dismantle the team afterwards. So, I really want to see what the Guardians do again versus Tampa. So, I mean, this wild card round is going to be something special. Say it.
Yes, sir.
Philly versus the Cardinals, right? You got.
Right.
I'm gonna ask Lady A about this because I know she hating, just like me. You got Bryce Harper versus some really good, versus some really good pitching here. Said, how do you see this one playing out?
I like the way the Phillies came in. I like the way the Phillies earned their spot into this wild card against St. Louis. But I think St. Louis is ready to play, and they're gonna.
You got somebody opening your door?
I'm about to say the same thing.
Oh, somebody knocking on the door. Hold on a second.
What is going on today?
Hey, say about to get that pow. You know.
Well, I need to check my doorbell camera.
Somebody. Matter of fact, you know what? You on something right now? Hold on, let me check, man. Are we being stalked right now?
I don't know what's going on, but I'm not comfortable.
My cameras right now too.
Yeah, we need to
get that pow ready for you. Listen, I had to check them cameras real fast. All right, listen. As far as this one right here, Lady A, go ahead and tell us who you mad at about this one.
So, once I divorced Bryce, I said I wished him well, but I'm not going to pretend that I do. I don't wish him well.
My bad.
So, outside of my own personal feelings, I just don't see I don't see Phillies winning against the Cardinals. I just don't see it. But I think it's going to be entertaining. I will give you that.
Do you think this one's going to? Which series do you see going the full 3 games? Because this first round is a best of 3, best out of 3.
Right.
Which series do y'all see going 3, and who do y'all see 2 and out of there? Go home, get it done, go fishing.
I think the Padres and the Mets are probably going to, because people are sleeping on the Padres. I think they're going to go 3. I really don't see Tampa Bay going too far.
I like Cleveland in that series as well.
Yeah.
Go ahead, say it.
I'm sorry,
we was actually about the Cardinals and Philly.
The Philadelphia and St. Louis. It's going to be an interesting series. But like you said, I mean, which one is going to go to full 3 games? I think the Phillies has a chance to make a first round noise over there to do a few things and to shock St. Louis, at home. But you facing a monster on the other side when you come out of that, in the Atlanta Braves. I looked at the wrong bracket. I'm sorry, because the Mets, San Diego, the winner of that game plays the Dodgers.
Right.
And y'all know how I feel about the Dodgers. So
Hey.
But what I will say is the Atlanta Braves have gone out and found pitchers. They have a deeper rotation this year than they had last year. The problem we got right now is a closer in Stanton.
Well, this is the time of the year.
He like to come in and give up. He like to come in and give a home runs play. We can't handle that.
But this is the time of year. If your closer is not doing it, they just gonna bring in another starter. They don't care. They're gonna burn their arm.
But they're gonna still use him for at least an inning, though. They're gonna still use him for at least an inning. So with them using for at least an inning, there's that potential.
Okay. So whose pitchers do you like in the playoffs? Because I mean, the bats got to get hot, but the pitchers got to shut down the opponent's bats. So whose pitchers do y'all like in this postseason? Kyle, you jump in here too, bro. Whose pitchers do y'all like in this postseason? I really do. Like you said Atlanta's pitchers is pretty good, but I think Philly, even though they had some injuries, they've been finding players. They've been finding some pitchers that can come through and give them a good 6 innings, and now those arms should be ready to go for the postseason. They may be able to go 6, 6.5, 7 innings now, turn it over to the bullpen. Whose other pitcher situation do y'all like?
Well, I'm going to say this. I don't really have a particular pitcher that I'm looking at. However, I want to put out there that when we're dealing with this point of the season, once you get into October, there are some pitchers that are burnt out. There are some that they complete, and then some like they're amped up. It's a difference. So I feel like right now we'll really get a chance to see these pitchers for who they are in the long run. There are some that are not used to playing this long. I mean, let's be real, baseball is a long season.
It's a marathon.
It is, and they play so much. And so I feel like in October's baseball, it changes. Things change. You'll see teams that were okay become amazing. I mean, my team showed out in October before. I'm in my feelings that they're not here now, but October baseball, it changes things. So I feel like it is going to be interesting to see, especially with pitchers, to see who can go the long haul.
I think this Guardian staff is another staff that is pretty decent. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this first round right here, and it's going to be an exciting weekend. We have San Diego Padres and the Mets Friday tomorrow. That's 8 p.m. 8:07 Eastern. You have the Cardinals, some day baseball versus Philly, and you have the Blue Jays Friday. So yeah, this tomorrow is going to be amazing. You got baseball pretty much all day, and then you got some college football at night, and then you got college football Saturday.
Yeah,
along with some more baseball Saturday, and then of course you got a couple of games on Sunday. Thank you guys for hanging in there with us tonight. We really, really appreciate y'all. We want to say thanks to Chase Hughes. His information will be put into the description after the show. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the First Ring Podcast, man. We really do need those likes. We appreciate each and every one of y'all comments as well. Say it, man. Without them, we wouldn't keep doing this, huh?
No doubt. Without them, we wouldn't keep doing this, man. We'll be talking to ourselves.
We'll be talking to ourselves. And thank y'all for joining us. And again, don't forget to like and subscribe to the First Ring Podcast on YouTube, and give us a thumbs up on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, if you follow us on our Twitch stream as well. Say it. We call it an OG Classic because we get in and we get out. Say it. Tell them about it.
Go Dogs!
Go Dogs.